Rolling Kimbrough. All right, where am I? Oh, we're here. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, or good night, or good morning, wherever you are on the planet. I hope this rail doesn't give way because it's like about 100 feet down into the canyon, and the PodBrother will be falling and be screaming the whole way, and I'll be like yelling, "Ho, somebody keep the camera rolling because this has got to be some funny shit, me tumbling down the hill." Let's hope that doesn't happen. How are you? We are here in Sherman Oaks on the hill. Welcome to PodBrother Nation. I have three awesome, amazing guests that is going to tickle our ears with various epithets. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how to spell it, but I heard somebody say it, so it sounds good. Because I'm crazy like that. We have Marty Ross, comedian extraordinaire, along with Daryl. Daryl Spencer. Well, yeah. What's your whole name?
Daryl Rodney Spencer.
Daryl Rodney Spencer. Now, I knew you as Rodney back in the Laugh is Hope days. Tarzan, that's what it was. It was Tarzan, then Rodney, then you. D-Rod. Yeah, okay. D-Rod, yep. Yeah, I knew you as D-Rod. I like D-Rod. I like introing you as D-Rod on the show.
Right.
That's where we go back. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. And then we have the lovely Chef Anna, also known as Chef Anina.
Anina, yes.
Chef Anina. And she is Italian here in the United States, cooking for some celebrities, doing her thing. She's got the eye-pan coordination. She's good like that. And we're going to talk about some food and some recipes and just kind of what you're doing and just the whole culture of the palate, which is really what you're about.
Main ingredient is love.
And you know what? And you can tell food that has love in the hands. Make sure you eat that mic so we can hear you.
They call me the food inventor because it's really not about, they go, "Oh, let's go grocery shopping. I'm missing this." And I go, "Wait a second. Let's open up your pantry. Let's open up your refrigerator and see what you have." And I create magic because the main ingredient is love. Is old school Italian. My grandmother started teaching me how to cook when I was 4 years old. And there my adventure started.
So you were 4 years old in the kitchen, like climbing on the stool with your spatula and your whisk,
with the wooden spoon that. And that's where I started. And but it was prohibited for me to become a cook. It was like, "Oh no, you have to study," and I really didn't like to study. But I did. I speak 4 languages. I traveled the world. I worked at the United Nations. I've done some other stuff, but my biggest passion was cooking, was bringing in the knowledge of my grandmother, of my great-grandmother, of my great-great-grandmother, and how to heal with food. And food is a moment that you cook dinner and you're sitting around the table and you talk and you share. And if I ask you a question, "What did your dad give you for your 7th birthday?" You're going to say, "I don't remember." But if I ask you, "What'd you cook with your grandmother the first time what kind of cookies did you make?" You'll probably remember.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Because it's the emotion.
Yep.
Food is something that ties people, that nourishes people, that makes people happy. When you're hungry, it's terrible. I'm very dedicated also to the West Hollywood Food Coalition, so cooking for the homeless, and it's very important to donate some time, and I'm creating a movement called Create Dinner Donate. So sometimes you'll be hearing about it. I'm not going to be making any money out of it. It's something that I'm trying to pass word of mouth. You can leave a dinner paid in a restaurant, and hopefully we will be able to create these little trucks that go and pick up some stuff and bring them to the kitchens, to the food pantries that we have, and feed the world. We've got a lot of people that are hungry, and an empty stomach can't really function well. The brain can't function well.
You're just talking about all that is making me hungry right now. I want to raid your pantry.
Don't we all?
Do I have to get in line?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm specialized in ancient foods. I'm very
Raid the
prone
pantry.
to vegan and vegetarian foods, and all by scratch. I really believe that cooking is an art for who does it and for who receives it. It's emotional. Again.
Now, are you most excited about new creations that you make, or about creations that you find that other people make? Because I know I got booked to do comedy in Marbella, Spain. They flew me over there. They put me up, and I met this chef Novelli, who was on like one of the chef shows, and he's a big celebrity like in the UK and in France and Spain, and they brought him in special for this film festival, and he gave us this dessert lesson. And the coolest thing he did, he took like a soup ladle, or what's it called? You scoop
Yes,
the soup,
soup
soup ladle. All right, and then he put like some butter on the back of it, and then he made this caramel, and he took and he strung the caramel across the ladle, and he made this caramel webbed bowl.
Wow.
And then put the bowl down, and he put like fruit and vanilla ice cream and sherbet and some whipped cream that he made in this like caramel basket bowl that he made on. I thought that was the coolest thing. And at the end, you're crunching on the bowl and you're in the fruit and the sherbet and the ice cream. It was like I was licking the plate. It was awful.
Yeah. When I love what I make, but I love what I receive too. If I would have eaten that, oh boy, yes.
It was a moment.
Emotional. It's a moment.
It was a moment.
I love good food.
And like you said, like food is an emotional investment.
Yes.
And that's something I'll never ever ever forget as long as I live. Like making that dessert, hanging out poolside in Marbella, Spain. It was just, I'll never forget it.
It's just really, again, food is the essence of life. We are what we eat. This was said by the Etruscan 2,700 years ago, and I study ancient foods, and our cells are made for what we eat, and
now
it's all about that.
Are you a resident chef at a restaurant, or do you do catering, or
I am a celebrity chef. I go into homes. I am a private chef. I do events, weddings, bar mitzvahs. I've been called for just a couple that wants to celebrate an anniversary and have something very, very special. I've cooked for 400 people sometimes, so it depends. I have a staff that comes. Sometimes it's just me. It depends on how many up to 20 people we've worked with. Yes.
And do you have a website?
I have a website. Yes, it's a Winx website. Sorry about that, you guys. I've just flown back from Italy, and my English is a little not altogether. Little jet.
You sound good. We totally understand you.
So my website is www.wix.com/Anina, ANINA. But you find me on Facebook as Anna, ANNA, Chef Anina, Radoyce, RADOYCE.
Nice. Well, that's how we can find you, and we're going to push you. I'm going to get that link, and I'm going to put it into the podcast, and I'm going to make sure
you can call me, but you can call me in the middle of the night because I'm
going to call you in the middle of the night. Be like, hey, what's the recipe I can? You sleeping? You in the kitchen? What's up?
You can call me also. People contact me a lot of times. They want to know a recipe, or they have, and they'll contact me either via Facebook also, or my friends call me and want a recipe or want some understanding of nutrition, which is really important to eat well these days. I tend to say, really, watch out what you put in your mouth, because it creates your cells. So you want to eat well. To be healthy, you want to eat well.
You make me want to be a celebrity just so you could come and cook for me, man. Because I'm not a celebrity.
You are a celebrity.
I'm a celebrity. I'm a celebrity I'm a celebrity in making. And like I can actually go places and people don't know who the hell I am, which is kind of nice sometimes. But I want to be a celebrity, so you can come and cook for me.
Okay, I'll cook for you. You know, for me, you are a celebrity.
So when you're like on somebody else's podcast, you can be like, you know, I cook for Michael St. James. I cook for Michael Jordan. I cook for.
I wish. No, I've cooked.
You know, I cook for the PodBrother, and you know, I want to be on
I
that
cooked
list.
for some incredible people. People like Tony Haynes. He wrote for Earth, Wind, and Fire. I've cooked for Nancy Friday, who in the 70s, 80s was a bestseller novelist who revolutionized what men thought about women. I've cooked for Michael Butler, who is who was the creator of Hair, Age of Aquarius. I've cooked for Billy Griffin. I've cooked for a lot
So
of
you
people.
got a fat resume.
I love what I do, so
You've created some celebrity cells with your food.
I'm going to have a show coming up in June. I'm filming my show, so you'll see me. Hopefully it'll be on Amazon. I'm not sure yet where it's going to be pitched, but you will see me. You'll hear from me because it's my passion, and I believe, and I tell all my girls, believe because you will manifest what you want.
Well, I'm going to be your biggest fan. Whatever you got going, we're going to help you push it.
Thank you. Do you
Nice.
want my phone number?
Yes. Is this
Okay.
something that you can give to us? Because we'll call you in the middle of the
This is my
night.
business phone, so you can always call me there. It's 424-404-2063.
Awesome. There you go. You're such a treat to have on the show. I want to have you on again. I want to like be on your show when you're in the kitchen, and I want to be like there, like covering something that you create from your heart, some love.
That will be very nice. I would love that.
Awesome. We'll have to do that. We'll figure out like when we can do that. Daryl, you cook a little bit too, don't you?
Yeah.
Eat that microphone.
Yes, I do actually. I love cooking, and I do it more as a passion, but not for work. But I do love cooking, and I just actually turned vegan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No
I
meat?
did.
No meat for the D-Rod?
No, man.
Come on, man.
I broke away. I
Thousands
broke
of
away
years
from-
fighting our way up the food chain so we could eat anything moving, and you went to the vegetarian?
Yeah, man.
Come on, dog.
I gave up the flesh, man. I
You
gave up the
flesh?
animal flesh.
Oh,
I gave up
man.
the consumption of
Okay.
the roadkill.
All right.
I did, and so I'm still new.
All right.
So I'm still feeling my way through, you know, but I do love to cook. And then when I met her, you know, too, and she was telling me about some recipes and some different things that I need to know about becoming a vegan.
Yes, it's
You know
very
what I mean?
important.
It ain't just eating, you know, just the vegetables. So you learn something new. So I was glad to meet her today.
You know, I dated a girl back in college who was a vegetarian, and she made me be a vegetarian because I loved her to death. That was my third marriage proposal shutdown. She was. I loved her. And what I noticed is like I just lost all kinds of like aggressive. You know, I didn't have that aggressive kind of like thing in me. I chilled. I was cool. I was kind of mellow. But I also noticed like I was starting to get some man boobs going on. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
After the vegan hood?
After the vegan, I'm like, wait a minute, my vegan, I'm getting man boobs. I don't get me wrong, I was enjoying my man boobs, but I didn't necessarily want them.
Right. I can see that. Absolutely.
There was you know, a little bit of a dichotomy going on. I was like, wait a minute, these is kind of, but you know. And as soon as I quit the vegetarian and went back to meat, it's like they were gone.
They were gone.
Yeah.
No more
So-
chest.
But this was back in the 70s, so I don't know if there's a whole new vegan program that, or something that you add to the program so that you
That's
don't have the man. Because back
That's what I was
then,
saying, that was
it was all
You know
new.
what tainted me is there was a video that came out, you know, it was called What the Health, and they broke it down about, you know, what the meat actually does to you. And after seeing that, then, you know, really
Oh,
it
yes.
was you know, I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. I never really ate too much meat anyway prior to that, you know. And I definitely gave up the pork thing when I was like 10 years old for religious reasons. You know, I wasn't religious, but the people around me were. You know,
Yeah.
So
You know, see, I grew up in a family where it was carnivore city.
right.
You know, when my mom died, my grandfather raised me. He was like one of them Indiana farmer dudes, and he was totally like, grow your own food, kill your own meat, hunt your own. You know, you eat what you kill, and I mean, we had everything from like chickens, goats, pigs, hogs, cows, and he bought them live, and then we like either hit them in the head with a sledgehammer or shot them in the head, and then, you know, cut the like what the butchers do, we did it like in-house, inner tribe, and it was something that you had to learn how to do.
Right.
Yes,
And when you learn it at such a young age and you do it year after year after year, it just becomes a thing that doesn't really shock you. You understand that this is, you know, meat for you to survive, and you know, it just turns into like a thing. And then when I became a vegetarian, all of a sudden she kind of said, oh, these are animals with lives and personalities, and this is like, you know, you're actually eating a thing that was living. And it's like, oh, I only really looked at it as like boots, belt, and a steak, you know. You just gave it a personality.
Exactly.
Now I feel bad.
Yes.
I'm going to still eat it.
Well,
But
you know
I
what,
feel bad. It comes with some guilt now.
I had an uncle that had a chicken farm. You know what I mean? And I was really young, but I would be out there playing with the chickens. You know, and it was.
We had a relationship.
Yeah, it was fun.
What happened to Mookie?
Playing with you know, with the chickens, you know, and then my uncle came out one day and grabbed the chicken that I was playing with. You know what I'm saying?
And there goes
And next
his
thing
head.
you know, it was on the table. You know what I mean? So needless to say, I had cornflakes for dinner because I wasn't about to eat the chicken.
You were like, oh man.
So I don't know how well I would do after, you know, actually seeing them slaughtered. Now it's not that I'm an animal activist or anything like that. It was purely what I saw the animal doing to the body, to our body. You know what I mean? And so
In Italy we do the same actually. Many times I've seen that. You know, you raise your chicken,
right,
and the rabbits and the pork, and the families still to this day. You know, it's something they do out in the country, and
yeah, it's just, and everybody does it. So it's like a way of life, and it's the norm.
Now don't get me wrong. Now, you know, I get hungry. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna scrape them up off the road.
When Trump creates the apocalypse,
and make
what you're
it work,
saying is,
you know,
you and I we're gonna arm wrestle for that chicken.
You know,
that's still living.
So, but you know, fortunately, right now I don't have to eat the roadkill. So, you know. So that's where I am as far as eating.
Well, your situation, I mean, you were playing with the chicken, so you were emotionally invested.
I don't know if I like the way you said it.
You was choking your chicken.
Situation, I was playing with the chicken.
So
that's too close to home. That's still my situation. Still play with the chicken.
So how young when you first choked your first chicken? You chicken choker.
As soon as I knew that chicken could be choked, I was choking chickens.
Oh man. So well, I mean, you were playing with your chicken, and you had like an emotional investment, whereas we didn't have that when we went. We literally went to the stock yard, and my grandfather would be like, okay, pick one out, and I got to pick out the cow we were going to slaughter. I got to do the sledgehammer on the head and knock them out, and so there was no emotional investment with the animal.
You're a beast. You're a beast.
You
hit him over the head.
Hit him over the head, yeah, because my grandpops wasn't going to give me a loaded gun, even to kill a cow.
You learned that early.
He just took a Sharpie, put an X on the forehead, and be like, just swing it hard, hit it right there, and then they would drop, and that was it.
Wow. And how do you feel today about yourself?
Well, you know, I wasn't my own guardian then, so I wasn't responsible for anything. Who was my legal guardian, who asked me to do, you know, swing a sledgehammer, choke a chicken. Once I turned 18 and I started making my own decisions, then I have a lot more guilt because I actually made the decision. But once I turned 18, I was kind of done with the animal killing for food thing. And
yeah, you need to clean that up for your animal activists to be on your show.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm doing it now, you know.
The like Michael Vicker podcast.
But you know what? I did do. I don't know if you saw this video, but when I went to Sundance, I set up my media lounge in Overland Furs, which is a fur company, and it had like all these furs. And every year, PETA comes out and protests in front of the fur store in Sundance because, you know, everybody's there, the media is there. So I'm like, I'm doing a media lounge and there's PETA protesters out there, and the owner says, man, you know, I wish there was like something that you could do to kind of
protest.
Yeah,
PETA,
PITA. They're animal activists for PITA. I think.
PITA.
Yeah.
People for the ethical treatment of animals.
Yeah, that's it.
Do I win a prize?
Yes,
you win the prize. Yes, you get the choke Daryl's chicken.
I think I'll skip that.
Yeah, I thought he said Peter protest.
Yeah, I know. That's what I first heard too. I'm thinking, who the hell is
lesbian
protesting?
And why is people protesting
what's
Peter?
Peter pissed off about? Because he hadn't eaten, probably.
So I was just joking around. I said, you know what would be cool? I said, if I had a basket of cheeseburgers, I would go out there and feed him cheeseburgers. And he was like, that's you're going to feed Peter protesters cheeseburgers. So he calls the owner next door and says, hey, I got a comedian here that will pass out cheeseburgers to the demonstrators. If you go halvesies on me, we'll go to Burger King and we'll buy like 600 Whoppers. He's like, bet. I'll do that just to see that.
Oh, Lord.
So they go to Burger King. They bring me back like 500-600 Whoppers. So I got this basket of Whoppers, and I go out and I'm like, you know, hey, you guys, you know, enjoy yourself. I know you're out here protesting, getting hungry, and you want something to eat. Have a Whopper on Kimbrough, you know. And everybody was just going for these Whoppers like it was like the last meal on earth. And it was like a really funny thing. It's so all of a sudden they were protesting, but it's like, ooh, a Whopper. And I know some of them were filmmakers that were mixed in with the protesters, but it looked like the protesters was just like attacking these Whoppers. And I put it up on YouTube, and I call it Bun Dance in Sundance. And it got a bunch of hits. It was really funny. But I'll have to send you the link.
Nice.
But that was my PETA protest, anti-protest, my anti-PETA peaceful Whopper protest.
Well, you know, the good thing about
Bun Dance and Sundance.
about fast food too, especially like McDonald's, the good thing about it for vegans is that meat is not meat anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so vegans could actually eat McDonald's in the Burger King
because there ain't no meat in it.
There ain't no meat in it. It's just a bunch of slime that they put together and make it look like meat.
They just rubbed it on a cow.
Yeah, it got the smell.
Damn.
Anyway.
So you do stand-up comedy, you act.
Yes.
Didn't you model as well? I thought I saw you.
No.
Or you just one of them cool stylish that looked like you're modeling every time you take a photo.
Yeah, well, you know, brothers got to coordinate.
Oh,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
You know.
It's one of those things, you know. But no, I was a poster child, I guess.
For choking chicken?
See, he's gonna go there. He's gonna.
You open the door, D-Rod. I gotta go in, man.
No, I some time ago I did land. It wasn't really modeling. I was for Burger King. I got to do the modeling the Whopper with the going into my mouth kind of thing. That's
nice.
I don't know if I like what I just said.
Choking chicken, Whoppers in your mouth.
I don't know.
I don't know. I know. Where's this going with me here? This is I don't know.
You got some Freudian slips that's been trickling into the show.
post Adderall. Should have took another one.
Oops. What's been going on all day? Come on.
Yeah, shit. It came down. Anyway.
That's funny.
Still doing stand up.
When did you first get into comedy, man? Because you're like a funny dude.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Really funny.
Thank
Whenever
you.
you came into the club, I was like, oh, great. We're going to have some quality comedy tonight. Because, my club, I had this policy where everyone could get some time. And it pissed a lot of comics off. They're like, that dude sucks. He's not even funny. Why are you putting him on? I'm like, well, because this is the kind of show I run. Everybody gets a chance, and you never know. That guy could actually be funny in 6 months if he has some stage time.
Right.
But you always came in, man, and rocked the crowd. You were like rock solid.
Well, I always had respect for your room, and even to today, man, I've always respected your grind. So when I came and I saw the type of room that you were running, then it was about bringing the funny, because like I said, that. You always ran a respectful room. You always ran it tight and right. So, to come all the way down there to BS, So
it was a trek. It was a trek, man. It was in Long Beach. So it had to be something that was worth coming to.
Yeah.
And that's just because, as a professional comic and you want to get your show tight for the cruise ship or that Tonight Show audition or that corporate gig, you need to have like a solid room with dark audience and bright stage lights and good mic and police the hecklers and make sure you get the drink, because that's really how you're going to work in the end. And I never really got how so many people just haphazardly will do an open mic in a bowling alley with the pool table and the videos going and people talking and there's no lights and the audience. There's no lights on the stage and the audience is all lit up and it's just you're battling against every single element. How can you possibly evolve into a professional set with that element?
Well, yeah, and that's the one thing that I respected about the way that you ran rooms. You got it, and so you knew how to set the room up, and the lighting was important to you. And one thing that I do remember is you do not go over your time in Steve. when that big yellow light came on and it was time to wrap it up, and the red one came. If you went into the red light, it'd be quite a while before you got to come back. So he didn't care where you was in your joke.
I would just go on and clap you off. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen.
So I started in the 90s. So, I've been in the game for a little bit, and I, had little setbacks and kind of faded off and came back and faded off and came back and went into another little line of work and kind of lined my pockets up a little bit. So, I'm back once again and, wrote some projects. So I'm looking to get those out there,
Yeah, I did the 48-hour film challenge and I called you, but you were out of town. I wanted you to be in the film.
Yeah, well, I got you on the next one. I love working with you. You're a solid guy.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And back to you, because you were so much fun. And people would even ask, when that D-Rock coming back? Sometimes people would call and be like, who to line up? And I would give them the lineup. And sometimes I didn't even know who the lineup was because people would just walk in. But a lot of people asked if you were coming back, which nice. I always liked that. There were maybe 20 comics where people would actually ask for them because you came down enough times and you had a solid enough show and a track record and a footprint where people actually were remembering.
And it's a good thing out here in Hollywood, too.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
To be remembered, period.
Yeah. Those were some fun days, man. I'm glad you came through and experienced
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely,
yeah.
brother.
So what do you got going now? Like, where can we find you? How can we...
Well, I kind of stepped out of the box, to be honest with you, for about the past year. So I'm really just resurfacing back into entertainment. I actually got I kind of slipped into investments and investing and trading.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it really, I focused on that so much that I kind of lost myself in the entertainment field. But it was very lucrative for me,
Mhm.
you know. And so once again, you know, kind of had an investment group. It's Dar and Dar Investment Group,
Right.
and I have Undercurrent Entertainment, which, you know, we'll talk.
Maybe you should do one of those investment podcasts. Like, what's the dude that's on the money stock show? He's like, he's all excited. He's talking about what's up, what's down.
Well,
and
one of my mentors was Dwayne Mooney,
Mhm.
Paul Mooney's son. He
one of the twins.
yeah, one of the twins.
Okay.
So he's really knowledgeable into the investment.
Are they
stuff
still
like-
doing stand up?
Yeah, they still do stand up.
Okay.
You know, periodically he gets booked and he comes out. You
Okay.
know, him and his brother. Yeah, they still do stuff. But you know, so it allowed me to be able to come and get back into and fulfill the entertainment aspect of my life, and you know, not have to, you know, do the Uber thing right now or whatever.
Mhm.
Because I used to do the limo thing and
Right.
and all of that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So.
I'm actually doing the Uber thing right now.
Well,
man,
I know
'cause-
that's you know, I heard, and so
Yeah.
that's, you know, like, you know, I'm glad that, you know, at this point, at least right now, I don't have to, so I can focus on projects and focus on investments and, you know, focus on relaxing and
And I kind of get out there like
finding
when I
the
feel
right
like
weed to smoke.
now that it's legal and all.
It's difficult to find the right for my age.
I think Marty might be dialed in on the prime weed that's in town. I don't know. I've met some people driving Uber I would never get a chance to meet in the conventional way
Yes.
in Hollywood. I mean,
Right.
I have had producers and agents and managers in the back of my car, and you know, we're talking, and of course they always want to keep the low profile. They know every Uber driver is like some desperate talent trying to get like some desperate thing, so they don't want to know. But you know, my personality, and I'm talking and my wit, and then next thing you know, they're like, you know what? I'm a producer over at the whatever. You should send me your stuff because you know you're kind of funny. You're cool, and it's like,
Nice.
oh snap! I'm giving you 5 stars. And I got cars and I got connections, man. I'm doing a comedy documentary film, which you're in, by the way.
Okay.
You're in my comedy. I don't know if you guys know this. You probably know it, but at Laugh is Hope, I've filmed maybe 80% of those shows.
Oh, okay.
So I had my camera in the back going because I knew I was going to be doing a documentary film at some point.
When I did the recycling joke or something.
But I have probably 700 tapes.
Oh, nice.
And I taped most of the really, really good shows. So of those tapes, you might be on maybe 10 of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when I'm ready to like pull those out,
Yeah.
I will let you know. And
Yeah, definitely.
you're definitely in the film.
I'll give you the number to my attorneys to call, make sure that
Get the releases and get the contract, make sure the money's right. when we sell that documentary to Netflix and we get 15 cents, you want your third of a penny?
I want it.
Okay, it's
You know?
on. It's on, bro. It's on. I got you. I got you. I'll bring my own cutters to cut that piece of penny off. Be like, here you go, bro. There's your 1/3 of a penny. Because we only made 13 cents on this bad boy.
Nice.
It's always a pleasure having you drop by, man, and keeping me in the loop.
Absolutely.
So we'll definitely have to chop it up some more.
Oh,
sure.
yeah, we definitely have to. Once again, I have some projects that I've had you in mind, and I know your grind.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And I want you to stick around because I got, Chris and some other guests that's coming in, and I want to talk about, some things that are a little heavier than choking the chicken and putting whoppers in your mouth, like, the NFL players kneeling and the national anthem and injustices and, just like the racial tension.
You
that's
ain't gonna
happening.
sit up
Interrupt
here
a
and talk
second.
about Trump, is you? Because I'm a
Gotta
Trump
interrupt
supporter.
1 second. I gotta-
And I loves me some Trump. Trump,
Yeah.
Trump, 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 Trump.
Yeah, we're going to talk,
I
man.
gotta
We'll get back.
interrupt 1 second. Because
Your time is up.
No.
So anyway,
1 second. 1 second. Arts for Peace Award. I'm wearing this.
Oh, I was going to get to that, but I was going to get to that on the end after
We'll
I
get
talked to
later.
Marty.
We'll
I
talk
was,
about it later because
I
it's
saw-
about
yeah,
global.
no,
I'm going
news,
to
you
be
guys.
dead in
we're-
a few minutes.
yeah,
Can we
we're-
get to me?
we're going to.
Sorry about that.
This is the longest in my life I've never said anything.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Is it still Saturday? What the hell day is it?
over here.
I'm Italian. I'm sorry.
It's
She
Sunday
can't
morning.
help herself.
Man.
Talk and talk and talk.
Marty, Ross.
What?
What's happening?
Well, first of all, today is the highest holy Jewish holiday. On this holiday you fast. And
what's
then
the
you
holiday
talk
called?
about food.
What's the holiday called?
Yom Kippur.
Yes.
I
Yom
started fasting yesterday, and I don't get to eat until sundown. And now I'm freaking starving, so we're going to have to cut this short because I see the sun is coming down.
So
Maybe you
it's a
could
race
whip up
against the time.
something for me. If you go to my refrigerator, you'll find a box of cornflakes.
Oh, Marty is a comedian, in case you don't know. Very super funny dude. And I met him at the Two Roads Theater in North Hollywood.
Yep.
You've been on this grind for a minute, right, Marty?
A minute, 2 minutes. I don't know how long anything is. I'm freaking old. What do I know? And I'll lie anyhow, so what's the difference? Old people don't have to tell truth, so put up with this shit.
You can be bold and candid.
I can say anything
You're too
I want
old to
now.
even
Right,
care.
there's a
Yeah.
pass.
Can you imagine if you called for Uber and I showed up? Yeah. I'll take you where you want to go at 3 miles an hour.
And then even then, it's not where you want to be.
No, of course not. I don't know where the hell I'm going.
You're like pulling the Jerry's Deli and get out. You're like, where you going? Like, I'm going to get me a
It's
sandwich.
like I'm
man.
hungry. Man. This is like the
This ain't my
intermission.
drop off. Like, I know.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
It's
if you
called
want to walk the rest of the
It's called
way,
intermission.
it's an Uber intermission.
Yeah, we'll go back to your ride later.
Oh, man. So, Marty,
What?
you've been in this game a minute. Like, when's the first time you did some stand-up, bro?
I
Come
don't
on.
freaking know. By now, I don't even know I'm here.
Your short-term and long-term memory shot.
You had to bring up the short thing. I hate that.
Well, we jumped on Duro with the choking chicken and the Whopper.
Well, I
got
have to tell you that visual is annoying me.
you done some cool stuff, man. I met you at the nude comedy show, and you were like doing some nude comedy, as
Well,
was I.
It wasn't on purpose.
You lost a bet,
No, old people, sometimes you leave your house without your pants. What am I going to do?
and you end
And
up
I
in,
was booked, so what the hell? I showed up.
you thought you were walking into your den, and
And do you think
walked
I-
out on stage, saw a bunch of people, and be like, "What are you guys doing in my house?"
Did you think I really give a shit?
Now you act as well.
I've done some acting. I've done some commercials. I did a play. Or I dreamt all this shit. I don't know.
Did you write other than your jokes?
I've been writing my memoirs for 3 years. I'm on page 7.
You're taking your time. You know, for a
Of course,
guy.
I'm distracted. You know, like where the hell did I put it? You know, that kind of shit. And I also have been smoking weed for a long freaking time.
And now that effect is.
Oh, not much.
What's the coolest thing about smoking weed?
Getting high. What did you find?
I don't know.
That's been my experience.
I don't smoke. I smoked weed once in college, man.
Oh, here we
It was
go.
a bad
Oh,
experience,
yeah.
man. It was not good. For me. I was.
didn't inhale.
I was no. I totally inhaled. I think that's why it would hit me so hard because they said you got to really inhale really hard and you got to hold it. And I did the biggest inhale and I hold it. Next thing I know, I was like flat on the ground. And I was listening to people having sex in the next room, except I was on the street. And they're like, Kimbrough, get your ass up. I'm like, no, I can hear people in there, man. They doing it. Like, dude, you on the street, yo. I'm like, no, there's some people in there. They having sex, man. I can hear. It's doggy style. Man, dude, you on the ground, yo. Get
That's
off
what
the street.
happens to everyone on the first time, right? You had the same
Funny.
experience. You're outside on the street listening to people having sex.
Oh.
You have to get to the second time.
Yeah, well, I never got
Somebody
to the second
choking
time.
a chicken and shit. You gotta see
I
that.
was on the farm and I was choking the chicken.
Is that what it says on your card?
On the farm?
Yeah.
On the farm. Oh,
Okay.
so tell us, like, what was the coolest comedy gig you had, Marty?
You know, I have to be honest. I don't freaking know. Probably the next one I did, the last one I did, they're all cool. It's a lot of fun.
It is fun. And you know what? What I noticed about your show, man, is like, because you have that don't give a shit attitude, people like love you. People love your show. They love They love it.
What I find out is I can perform for any kind of audience. It's really funny because years ago I got put up in a black club in Vegas, and I'm not saying because there's some black people here. But the guy didn't have any idea what I did, and he put me up after a gangster rap group.
Oh, man.
It was freaking awesome. It really was. It was great.
You killed him.
Yeah, it was fun for me. I mean, I like something weird like that. I just felt bad for the John Denver white guy with the guitar that followed me. I didn't want to be there for that.
That guy is probably like...
I'm sure he didn't make it out of the
He
room.
probably ended up like John Denver. Who knows?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, hi.
Hi, yes.
Yeah.
Hi. You know, my manager booked me on a cruise ship. All Brazilians. None of them spoke English.
That's best. That way they don't know you suck.
They had no idea I sucked. They didn't know
Yeah.
if I was good or bad. 2 minutes into it, they broke out into conversation, and they got loud, and it was almost like Carnival Mardi Gras broke out in my show, and it was just like, it was awful.
How long were you on stage for this?
I was contracted to do an hour, because those cruise ships, you're the show. So you have the dinner, and then you have the dinner show.
Right.
And that show is an hour, because usually like it's a magic act or a singing group or a band, you know, or a comic. You got to be able to do an hour all clean. And
Right,
it was
so choking the chicken is out of the question.
choking the chicken would not have
You know,
flown.
you're starting to run that into the ground.
I don't want to ever hear it again.
He's old, so come on.
I don't know
He's
that
hearing it for the first
I
time.
don't know that I said it. So there you go. 'Cause I did a room out here. I got booked for no apparent reason when everybody was Latino. Nobody spoke English. So I only had to do a few minutes because I just didn't want to keep going. But you were stuck. You're on
No,
a
I was
cruise.
stuck. I had to. Because I looked at the cruise director like, you want me to finish this? And he was just like,
Yep, I'm paying you.
paying you, got to do the whole hour. I was like, what, you really mean? He's like, mm-hmm.
Probably felt like a week.
It felt like a year, bro. It was the longest time I ever
That's
spent
when the
on
sweat
stage.
starts coming.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but I would assume after a while you realize there's nothing you can do anyway.
Well, you know, by the end, when like 15 minutes in it, the material wasn't even working. So
Well,
I just started like telling stories about when I was in college, and it didn't even really matter because no one really understood
yeah,
anyway.
Perfect.
So I just went into like storytelling mode, stuff that wasn't even funny, and I just finished the time.
Well, I'm happy to hear your story.
It's a hell of an interview, eh? So tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
But
what I did,
Meanwhile,
when I worked the
my
cruise
worst
ship,
experience, my best experience. I'm just hoping I don't blow over the side.
well, if you do, we got it on film and we're laughing. It's going up on YouTube, baby.
That'll be so.
Yeah.
Usually paramedics follow me around, so I should be fine.
They're just waiting for you to. So, you got the relationship advice for like the young dudes? I know you're married
Because I
to
have
Rod,
3
right?
ex-wives.
You got 3 ex-wives.
That's what I heard too.
So you're expert on ex-wives.
I'm good at the ex-wife thing. That's my advice. Don't marry me.
Don't marry Marty because you
No.
could be an ex. All right, well that's cool. So where can we find you on the web, my man?
You can find me at martyross.com. I'm not going to do all those W's because everybody knows it. You can find me on Facebook as Marty Ross. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Wrinkled Rebel. And you can find me tomorrow at Flappers at 7 o'clock.
You gonna be doing a set there?
It's my show.
Oh, it's your show. You're hosting it, producing it.
I headline it because it's my own show.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And the one thing I am proud of, and you can make a note, I'm having my 78th birthday show at Flappers, which is also going to be an ACLU fundraiser.
And when is that?
November 26th.
November 26th.
And let
save
me
the
just
date.
tell you some of the lineup. Wendy Liebman,
Love her.
Jen Colber, Kristen Key,
Mm-hmm.
or Kirsten, and if you're listening, Kirsten, call me, tell me I fucked up your name.
She's very funny.
Antoine Young,
Mm-hmm.
DJ Demers.
That's a solid lineup you got.
And then I was at a benefit the other night, and Fritz Coleman wants to be on.
Oh, that's very cool.
So it's going to be fun.
Well, maybe I can come down and do a podcast, man. Maybe interview everybody after the set.
Well, I don't think they want to talk to you. They
Well.
saw how you handled me, just talking about yourself.
You know, he acts old and senile, but he's pretty sharp, man. He listens to
Or I'm
everything.
dead and none of this is happening.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you, man,
It's
on the
always
show.
good to see you.
Yeah,
When I
man.
learned more about you than I cared to know.
Yeah. You're a funny dude, man. You're always
you.
welcome on the PodBrother Show.
Thank you.
And next time I have a show, I'm going to make sure that you're going to be on the lineup because you are one funny
Well,
dude.
thank you very much.
Sweet.
I won't have you on mine, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, maybe I'll Uber drive you to
Hey, that'd be
to
cool. 'Cause
Jerry's
I never
Deli.
know where the hell I'm going anyway.
Oh, well, let's get back before we close out, and we wanted to talk to Anina about your Arts for Peace. Is that what?
Arts for Peace Award was it's an association created by Mooney Ironi, and we're global peace leaders. I created in that the culinary art sector, and there's acting, and there's different sectors of Arts for Peace Award. Last year we had the first award in October at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills.
It's a nice theater.
It's a beautiful one. I'm the ambassador for Italy, and we're going to create an event in Italy. And we have a French ambassador and various ambassadors. We are one. This is Mooney always goes like this in pictures. We are all one, and through love and peace and trying to really bring peace around the world and unify religions, and it's enough. And we want peace, all of us. We
Yeah,
really want
we do.
peace together. You know, we are one.
Well, cool. We will pump that up. D-Rod, do you have any activist you want to promote or anything that you're
Any
involved in?
activists?
Or are you active in any movements?
Yeah. Right now I am. I'm promoting racism.
And you know, it's working too. It's
Oh,
working.
you know what?
I like
I'm-
You're good at it, because man, I feel
I'm
it
putting
every
it out
day.
there because we need to talk about it, so I'm promoting it. You know,
We need to have that uncomfortable conversation.
we gotta have that uncomfortable conversation. So, however, I gotta start it.
All right,
you.
I'm with you on that. We're gonna come back to that. Marty, you got any yours is the ACLU.
I'm doing the
been
ACLU. I
on
don't
your
do
birthday.
a lot of political stuff because I just seethe inside.
All right, we got you.
You know, here's the story. My father died when the Berlin Wall came down. My mother died after Obama was elected.
Okay.
I can't die with this in office. I'm going to have to live until he's
You're gonna
gone.
have to live until he's
Yeah.
gone. I'm with you on that one. Well, I am the Pod Brother. You can catch me at podbrother.com. You guys have been delightful, and thank you for stopping by, spending some time on my show. And anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. And Anina, D-Rod, and Marty, you guys are beautiful. Support these guys. Support their talent. Eat their food. Laugh at their jokes. And talk racism, because that's how we get down. We're going to be back with some more people. I am Steve Kimbrough, a.k.a. the Pod Brother. We are at Santa Bob's Place in Sherman Oaks doing our poolside podcast, because there's a pool right over there. And I brought my suit, and I'm going to get in it sometime before I get out of here. So,
Thank you.
peace out. Thanks, guys.
You know, some of my best friends are white.